Hello, and thank you for joining us for this edition of Digium Live. I am Matthew Hilton, and I am joined today with Jessica Campas with our inside sales team. She's one of our account executives here at Digium. Hello, Jessica.
Hey, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing very well, and how are you today?
I'm doing awesome.
Excellent. Well, Jessica's here today to talk to us a little bit about how to get the best value out of your next phone system purchase. All right.
Little sneak peek in the sales process.
Yes, excellent.
Yeah,
so we know there's a lot of tips and tricks that you probably give our customers fairly frequently.
Absolutely.
What's one of the number one common questions that you get from our customers?
Well, they want to be able to transition seamlessly from what they have right now to the future, what their new system's going to be. So they want to know, does my CRM integrate? Will it integrate with your system? They also like to know, is there someone local in the area who could help support us? If anything were to go down, could they come out and help us out? And they also want to make sure that their numbers port over. I mean, the face of your business is the number that you've probably had for years and years. So you want to make sure it's a seamless transition both inside the company and customer facing as well.
Okay, and is that something that you would help them try and determine, like where they need to, how to port their numbers and things like that?
Absolutely. So we would, first of all, reassure them that everything's going to stay the same. If anything, it's going to be better. You're going to be more productive. You're going to be able to see into your coworkers and what's going on, but we would make sure that they understood that it was a seamless transition and it'll be smooth for them.
Okay, so that's kind of one, that leads us to our next question, which are what are some kind of misconceptions? So losing their main number, kind of losing that touch and feel that they've had for a long time.
Absolutely.
Is that another, what are some other misconceptions that people have?
They think there's going to be a huge learning curve, which if anything, it's going to be more simplistic. So there is not a large learning curve trying to, it's new technology. Are we going to be able to get up to speed fast enough? What if you have people that can't, they're not technical? You don't have to be technical to move forward. And they also are concerned with pricing. They are consumed with the fact that this is going to be new technology, so it's got to cost more, right? But in most cases, they end up saving money with this phone system. So that's always their number one misconception, I think, is pricing.
And that's a great one to bust right out of the gate, because price obviously is very, very, it's very competitive marketplace out there.
Absolutely.
So if you can get the better value for the best price, that's the way to go.
It sure is, yeah.
All right, so how about, what are some of the things that people tend to forget when they are calling in about a phone system? What are some of the common things that maybe they just don't even think to ask necessarily? How do you help them in that regard?
Sure, so I would say they are always thinking of people. They're not thinking of other locations that need access to a phone line. So elevators, they're not thinking about E911, like what happens if someone dials 911? That's another thing. Sure. Sometimes they don't check simple things like what if we're in a contract with our current PRI or analog provider? I mean, just checking your contracts can help a lot. And then just conference rooms, break rooms, hallway phones. Someone's not necessarily sitting at a desk, so they don't think about those phones where it is technically a phone, and you've got to account for that extension in your system.
Sure, and I can imagine, especially in some larger accounts, that could actually add up to quite a bit.
It is. It might be the difference of 10 or 15 extensions if it's a a large company. So
that's a great point to kind of remember to check some of the areas that maybe are used less frequently, but still are important to have a dedicated phone there.
Absolutely.
Great, that's some good advice. And finally, what are some tricks that people use, or how do you get them into the best price for a phone system that's out there?
Well, I encourage them, do your research. You should always look around and you should always ask smart questions like, what features am I getting for this? Is this an all features included thing, or is this a pay to play type of feature layout? Also, don't be overwhelmed and ask for features that you might not use. If you're not going to use some advanced call center features, don't fall into a trap where you're having to pay for that, or you may think that you need to pay extra for it. So also, make sure it's a system that you can manage well. I mean, IT people got to take a vacation too. And so what if you're out for a week on vacation? You want a system that one of your other IT personnel or just another person around the office can make a quick change to your auto attendant, or maybe you hire someone while you're out of the office. So how to onboard a new person, and you don't want to be dependent on a value-added reseller or tech support. If it's just a minor change, you want to make sure it's an easy-to-manage system.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because a lot of times extra support contracts or 24/7 support contracts can really add up over the long-term cost of a phone system.
It sure can.
Excellent. Any other words of advice that you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, you've covered a lot of it. Just make sure that you do your homework. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I mean, I'm in sales and I expect to have the game of 21 questions, and you need to be open and upfront with your sales individuals, and don't be afraid to ask something. We have been asked everything in the book, so you're not going to offend anyone. Just do your homework, and I know you'll be pleased.
Yeah, and I know one thing that your boss tends to use quite a lot is to look at the business processes that you're trying to improve. So rather than just looking at I'm trying to replace a phone system with another phone system, what you're really trying to do to get the best value of the phone system is to make sure you're fixing some inherent problems that you have in your call logic.
Yes, uncover those pain points. What's something that we don't have today that would make our life easier? So, I mean, that's a big thing too. Just take a really good retrospective look at your system, at your processes, what's going to make your life easier, what's going to make you communicate with your customers more efficiently, and your coworkers, because I mean, phone system is the lifeblood of a lot of companies. So
absolutely. Well, Jessica, thank you for taking the
No
time on your busy day today.
No
And
problem.
this will conclude today's episode of Digium Live. Come back next time for another wonderful discussion.